Madam Acting Speaker, I rise today to inform this Honorable House and the people of Bermuda on the ongoing work done under the National Violence Reduction Strategy, and in particular, the financial support we have provided to community-based organizations that are contributing meaningfully to violence prevention, intervention, and rehabilitation. Madam Acting Speaker, as outlined in the National Violence Reduction Strategy, we are committed to a multifaceted approach to reducing violence in our community, particularly gang and youth violence, by addressing root causes and investing in prevention. This includes strengthening community resilience, increasing access to mental health services, enhancing early intervention, and promoting positive alternatives for our young people. To that end, Madam Acting Speaker, the Ministry of National Security has dispersed grant funding totaling more than $540,000 to a range of community-based organizations whose missions align with the goals of the strategy. These organizations include sports clubs, community support programs, youth mentorship groups, and education-focused initiatives. This funding reflects a collective effort across many community organizations, and I will speak to the types of initiatives it is helping to advance. Madam Acting Speaker, the largest portion of the grant funding, approximately $288,000, has gone to sports clubs across the island. These grants support structured programs that engage young people in positive, skill-building activities and provide safe spaces for recreation, mentorship, and community building. These clubs are not just centers for athletic excellence. They are hubs of leadership development, social connection, and resilience. As the strategy highlights, involvement in organized sports can reduce idle time, foster positive peer networks, and increase a sense of purpose among our youth. Madam Acting Speaker, another $135,000 has been allocated to community support organizations that provide critical services ranging from transitional housing to trauma-informed care. These groups work directly with individuals and families affected by violence and provide a bridge to stability through counseling, case management, and basic needs support. Their contributions are essential in the rehabilitation and reintegration goals of our strategy. We have also invested more than $84,000 in education-centered initiatives, including those focused on academic support and skills development. Educational opportunity is a powerful protective factor against violence. By funding programs that offer tutoring, career planning, and vocational exposure, we are supporting the long-term success of young people who might otherwise be vulnerable to antisocial influences. And finally, nearly $35,000 has been dedicated to youth mentorship programs that foster positive identity, self-confidence, and leadership skills. These initiatives often pair young people with trusted adult mentors who provide consistent guidance, encouragement, and a listening ear. Research shows that these relationships can have a lasting impact on a young person's ability to make positive life choices. Madam Acting Speaker, each of these grants is more than a financial transaction. It is a strategic investment in peace building. These community-based programs align with our national strategy's emphasis on prevention, intervention, and integration. They represent our belief that the people closest to the problems are also closest to the solutions. Violence prevention is not the work of government alone. It is a shared responsibility that requires us to work hand in hand with the community. Through these grants, we are resourcing trusted partners to do what they do best: engage hearts, change minds, and build a safer Bermuda from the ground up. Looking ahead, the Ministry of National Security remains committed to strengthening and expanding these partnerships. We are actively reviewing the outcomes of funded programs to inform future funding cycles, with a focus on sustainability, evidence-based practices, and measurable impact. We are also exploring opportunities to support new and emerging community efforts, particularly those that address mental health, education access, mentorship, and trauma-informed care. In the months to come, we will be engaging stakeholders in a broader conversation about how to deepen coordination across agencies, expand public awareness of violence prevention resources, and ensure that young people, especially those at most risk, have clear and supported pathways to success. So, Madam Acting Speaker, I wish to thank all of the organizations who have applied for and received funding. Their commitment to uplifting their communities is commendable. The Ministry of National Security will continue to monitor the impact of these grants and ensure that public funds are used effectively and responsibly to support the national mission of violence reduction. Thank you, Madam Acting Speaker.
Thank you, Minister. I do believe you have a second paper as well.
Yes, ma'am. Okay. Madam Acting Speaker, while I'm on my feet, I would like to provide this Honorable House with a comprehensive update on the commendable work and recent achievements of the Royal Bermuda Regiment and the Coast Guard Unit, highlighting their unwavering dedication to leadership, youth development, and maritime safety. Madam Acting Speaker, from June 1st to June 14th, the regiment conducted their Junior Non-Commissioned Officer Cadre Camp at Camp Lejeune, North Carolina. This challenging and essential leadership course, held for the first time in 3 years, equips our future leaders with the necessary skills to effectively command a section of 8 soldiers. This year, 18 dedicated Royal Bermuda Regiment students participated alongside 4 soldiers from the Turks and Caicos Islands Regiment and 1 from the Cayman Islands Regiment, reflecting Bermuda's pivotal role in regional cooperation and training. Madam Acting Speaker, in our continued commitment to fostering the next generation of leaders, from June 27th to July 4th, the regiment hosted 2 highly successful youth camps involving a total of 40 young Bermudians. The Junior Leader Program saw 24 enthusiastic middle and high school students participate in a rigorous 7-day residential camp, divided into junior and senior cohorts. Our young leaders undertook foot drills, weapons training, and a memorable overnight exercise. The senior cohort also experienced live fire exercises, and both groups proudly showcased their discipline in a drill display at the passing out parade, attended by families and honored by the presence of our Junior Minister of National Security, Senator Lindsey Simmons. Simultaneously, Madam Acting Speaker, the regiment's band hosted a vibrant junior band camp, attended by 16 talented students aged between 11 and 25. Guided by the band's own dedicated college students, Gabriella Arnold, Isaiah Hayward, Samuel Webble, and Josiah Tolbert, and supported by experienced Royal Bermuda Regiment band corporals Hall, Durling, Smith, and Morrissey. The camp provided invaluable development opportunities for potential conductors and drum majors. Their impressive performance at the Junior Leader Camp, passing out parade, and the sunset ceremony culminated in an inspiring beating of the retreat on Cabinet grounds on July 16th. Madam Acting Speaker, immediately following these youth initiatives, the regiment commenced its second recruit intake of the year on July 6th, welcoming 36 new recruits, 12 from our local community and 24 from the Turks and Caicos Island Regiment. The Turks and Caicos Island Regiment, actively expanding its ranks, sought our assistance, which we readily provided due to historically lower numbers during our summer intake. I must stress, Madam Acting Speaker, that the Turks and Caicos fully funded their own participation. Upon completion of the initial camp on July 18th, the Royal Bermuda Regiment recruits will enter a 3-month continuation training course before joining operational units this autumn. increasing the regiment's active strength to 283 personnel. Turning now, Madam Acting Speaker, to our Maritime Guardians, the Royal Bermuda Regiment Coast Guard Unit. This dedicated team of 14 full-time and 22 reserve soldiers is fully mobilized for robust summer operations, reinforcing weekend and holiday shifts to maximize visibility and enhance response capabilities during peak boating periods. In June alone, the Coast Guard conducted 136 patrols, observed 2,804 vessels, issued 23 marine regulation tickets, made 4 arrests, and successfully completed 10 search and rescue operations. Additionally, they partnered with police and customs in 2 joint operations and supported the Department of Environment and Natural Resources on 2 occasions, further underscoring their critical interagency collaboration. Madam Acting Speaker, in a significant advancement, the Coast Guard recently commissioned 3 state-of-the-art forward-looking infrared cameras, enhancing nighttime fisheries and rescue operational capabilities. These high-resolution heat-sensing cameras, valued at a combined total of $172,000, were funded by the UK's Marine Coast Guard Agency and the Foreign Commonwealth and Development Office's Blue Belt Blue Shield project. While we celebrate these successes, Madam Acting Speaker, we must acknowledge ongoing challenges. The Coast Guard's fleet of 11 vessels, primarily comprised of aging former police boats, restricts its operational efficiency due to limitations in endurance, sea state performance, and crew protection. Addressing this remains an urgent priority, as does increasing the unit's capability. Concerted efforts are underway to double the size of the Coast Guard unit from 14 to 28 full-time soldiers. Achieving this expansion will provide sustainable operational coverage, alleviate over-reliance on reserve personnel, and ensure continuous professional training. Additionally, the forthcoming Coast Guard station at the former St. David's Post Office, projected for completion by mid-December, will significantly boost operational presence in the East End. This new facility will reduce response times for Eastern search and rescue operations, enhance oversight of fishing activities, expedite customs procedures in St. George's, and strengthen emergency responses to aircraft incidents. Madam Acting Speaker, this government remains committed to supporting the men and women of the regiment and the Coast Guard as they tirelessly safeguard our island and inspire our youth. These achievements and ongoing dedication deserve our collective recognition and support. I encourage all Bermudians, particularly our young people, to consider joining the Royal Bermuda Regiment. Service in the regiment promises not only the chance to develop exceptional leadership abilities and contribute meaningfully to our community, but also offers unmatched opportunities for personal adventure. Members experience technical training, achieve peak physical fitness, sharpen their mental acuity, and have the opportunity to travel and engage in unique, rewarding experiences. We look forward to welcoming new members to our proud tradition of service and excellence. Thank you, Madam Acting Speaker.
Thank you, Minister. I call on the Minister for Economy and Labor.
Good morning again, Madam Acting Speaker.
Sorry, Minister. Minister, you have the floor. Yes.
Madam Acting Speaker, I am pleased to introduce to this honorable House today the Wage Commission's report on recommendations for the minimum hourly wage in Bermuda. This report marks a pivotal step in our ongoing commitment to ensuring a dignified standard of living for all Bermuda's workers. Madam Acting Speaker, I am also pleased to lay in the Honorable House of Assembly the Employment Minimal Hourly Wage Amendment Order 2025, which reflects the recommendation by the Wage Commission to increase the statutory minimum hourly wage rate effective from the 1st of September 2025. Madam Acting Speaker, members of this Honorable House may recall that in September 2024, I presented the government's position paper on progressing Bermuda's minimum hourly wage rate from the current rate of $16.40 to a rate between $16.81 and $17.23 in 2025. The paper underscored the government's unwavering commitment to advancing the minimum hourly wage, initially enacted on June 1st, 2023, and proposed a clear framework for its progression. Madam Acting Speaker, the Wage Commission, in accordance with its obligations under Section 9 and 10 of the Employment Wage Commission Act 2019, has affirmed the government's position in this regard. Crucially, the Commission has recommended that the statutory minimum hourly wage rate be increased in 2025 to $17.13. This adjustment is not merely an incremental change. It is a vital investment in our society and economy. A minimum wage that keeps pace with the cost of living is fundamental to ensuring that full-time work provides a pathway out of poverty rather than trapping individuals in it. This progressive approach helps to reduce reliance on social safety nets and builds a more resilient economy from the ground up. Madam Acting Speaker, it is anticipated that more than 2,500 workers will benefit from this adjustment, primarily those in service and sales sectors. These workers include individuals employed in hotels and restaurants, retail workers, personal care workers, cleaners, beauticians, and domestic workers. Furthermore, Madam Acting Speaker, this position aligns directly with the international best practices and the principles advocated by the International Labour Organization, the ILO. The ILO consistently emphasizes that minimum wages should be reviewed and adjusted periodically to ensure they provide a living wage taking into account the evolving cost of living, social security, and prevailing wage levels. Their conventions and recommendations highlight that fair minimum wages are essential for decent work, social protection, and inclusive economic development. They play a critical role in reducing inequalities and enhancing social cohesion. The Commission's report states that the minimum hourly wage rate should be progressed by the annual rate of inflation using the Consumer Price Index as the indicative measure, capped at 2.5% per year every 2 years. Taking the annual average rate of inflation for 2023 and 2024 of 3.3 and 1.9 respectively, the Wage Commission proposes a statutory minimum hourly wage rate of $17.13, an increase of 73 cents per hour from the current rate. Madam Acting Speaker, the Commission's report recommends that the statutory minimum hourly wage rate be reviewed every 2 years, utilizing information from the annual employment survey as well as the labor force survey. As the Commission notes, the biannual review will minimize potential business disruption and afford employers an opportunity to adjust their operations and pricing strategies accordingly, mitigating any adverse effects of employment levels or business viability. Moreover, knowing the wage adjustments will occur every 2 years based on an objective economic indicator allows for better long-term planning and budgeting for businesses and households alike. Madam Acting Speaker, the government wishes to express its sincere gratitude to the distinguished members of the Wage Commission. Their unwavering commitment has been instrumental in ensuring a basic standard of living for the people of Bermuda. Thank you, Madam Acting Speaker.
Thank you, Minister, and that concludes ministerial statements. That